Straight ahead on 12 News, a property dispute delays a major building project in Golden Valley. Then a disease that impacts 1 in every 200 people.
And we have done medicine after medicine, injection.
How a Brooklyn Park girl deals with colitis and why her family is trying to educate others. But first, we love to embrace winter in Minnesota, but how this icy blast is impacting winter festivals. 12 News starts right now. The first weekend of December is generally when local cities kick off their season of winter activities.
A number of winter festivals are planned across the Northwest Metro for this weekend. But as Delane Cleveland reports, even some of the best laid plans are no match for the bitter cold.
Everything about Main Street in downtown Maple Grove indicates that the Christmas season is upon us.
This is the 4th year for the Sleigh Bells and Sparkle Parade to take place.
Deb Syrie is president of the Maple Grove Community Organization, which helps organize holiday activities along Main Street every year.
Tomorrow night, MGCO plans a Sleigh Bell and Sparkle Parade in conjunction with Arbor Lakes Business Association and their hometown holiday event on Main Street.
She says the parade has drawn hundreds of people every year, but for the first time in the event's 4-year history, they're canceling the parade due to the cold.
It's very disappointing. The businesses really look forward to it. It really ties in with the events that are going on in Main Street.
Meanwhile, in Crystal, they'll be doing their annual Winterfest celebration, but unlike Maple Grove, their outdoor activities will continue as planned. Activities such as the horse-drawn hayride and the petting zoo.
People enjoy getting out there and seeing and feeding the animals, petting the animals. It's a good group of people.
But it's also a group of people who don't have to stay outside the entire time. The city of Crystal has the luxury of utilizing the recreation center, where families can stray inside to stay warm and do some arts and crafts.
We feel it'll be safe for people to get in, go out and see it, but then also have that opportunity to come inside. I think that offers us a benefit, which maybe some of the other events don't have that are strictly outside.
Events such as what's happening in Maple Grove, where the cold and a canceled parade won't dampen their holiday spirit.
Mr. and Mrs. Claus will be here, and they will still do that traditional send-off to the community for the holiday celebration.
In Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
A tree lighting ceremony will go on as planned in Maple Grove starting at 5 o'clock near City Hall on Main Street.
The wintry weather is still taking a toll on drivers as patches of ice caused more accidents Friday. Just before noon, passersby helped a driver crawl out of an overturned truck on the Highway 81 median in Brooklyn Park. It happened just north of Highway 694 near an intersection where Brooklyn Park police say ice has caused several minor accidents. The woman walked away from this one.
As the world mourns the death of Nelson Mandela, Congressman Keith Ellison says Mandela will be remembered for showing compassion in rebuilding the same South Africa that had taken so much from him. Mandela's death is an opportunity for local students to learn more about his struggle for racial equality. Students at North Hennepin Community College say Mandela's life is an inspiration.
He came to the realization that violence is not the answer, and he wasn't going to get anywhere by doing that, and how he had the ability to forgive one.
How he can go to the president's wife who sentenced him and have tea with her and the guards, so it shows that he's a forgiving person.
Students are signing a card expressing their condolences. It will be mailed in time for Mandela's funeral.
A level 3 sex offender is moving into Brooklyn Center. Residents have been notified that 43-year-old Ambrose Slaughter will be moving into the 5500 block of Lindale Avenue later this month. Slaughter has served time for attempted sexual contact with a woman and holding her against her will. One other level 3 offender lives in Brooklyn Center, and police say there have been no issues.
Golden Valley is poised and ready for an urban development boom, but a legal dispute is stalling one project. This 7-acre site near the intersection of I-394 and Highway 100 is ready for a new apartment project called 394. Golden Valley approved the plan for more than 300 luxury apartments and another building with senior living, but the development can't go through until a court fight is settled with the owner of the nearby Good Day Cafe. The cafe owner argues he wasn't given an opportunity opportunity to buy the land. The Golden Valley city manager says the business owner had a chance to buy the property 10 years ago but never presented a plan. Meantime, Golden Valley Mayor Shep Harris believes the project will help serve the 9,000 residents expected to move to the city in the next 2 decades.
We believe this is prime property for revival of our city for people who are looking to downsize, people who are looking to relocate from the outer ring suburbs or from downtown Minneapolis. This is prime location.
The court dispute could take months to settle. We could not immediately reach the attorney representing the business owner.
The frigid weather did not dampen the spirits of hundreds of people who lined up to give to others.
I'm actually fine, and it's a lot of fun. It's good to do good work. So,
employees at Allianz Life in Golden Valley bundled up and formed a human chain to load more than 500 boxes of donated food and clothing onto a truck for delivery to local nonprofits. The employees have been raising money and collecting food, clothing, and toys that will be given to families in need this holiday. One of the main social service agencies that benefits is PRISM in Golden Valley, where more than 550 families use the food shelf every month.
What this means is that we'll have food in our food shelves. We have just recently adjusted our food shelf policy. Families can come and access it 2 times a month instead of once a month. They're also getting more pounds of food.
This is the 14th year for the Allianz Spirit of Giving campaign. It is a chronic disease that impacts 1 in every 200 people.
Crohn's and colitis are inflammatory bowel diseases. Governor Dayton issued a proclamation, and the 35W bridge was lit up in orange and blue to bring attention to the cause. The diseases can occur at any age, but it's more prevalent among teens and young adults. Sonia Goins shows us how a young Brooklyn Park girl is coping with it.
This is Aria Love during good times, dancing and playing with her sister and brother. But 45 minutes earlier, Aria wasn't doing too well.
My belly hurts.
Did it hurt a lot?
Yes.
She was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2011.
Makes me sad to watch her go through this.
Aria's mother says this past year has been rough.
May of 2012, she was hospitalized, and up until August of this year, I mean, it's been in a constant flare.
Inflammatory bowel diseases causes weight loss, very painful stomach cramps, and bloody, persistent diarrhea.
She had 3 blood transfusions, and we have done medicine after medicine.
When the medicines didn't help, Aria had surgery.
And she had her colon and her rectum removed.
Her doctors gave her what's known as a J pouch. It serves as a makeshift colon so she can go to the bathroom.
With the J pouch, she has to drink a lot of fluids and keep hydrated because her body doesn't absorb because she no longer has a colon.
When Jill didn't know what to do and she wanted to help Aria, she came here to the Crohn's Colitis Foundation of America. They provided her with resources.
We have a pediatric support group, which is new in 2013, and also one for adults. We also offer education programs throughout the year.
Aria is slowly getting back to normal and doing what kids her age do, play.
It makes me very happy and very excited to see her growing and loving life again.
Here we go again.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Jumping down.
About 25,000 Minnesotans have Crohn's or colitis. There is no cure for the diseases. Coming up in Weekend Showcase, a play that hopes to do some good for those in need.
And later in sports, Park Center finds it going tough in a key early season girls basketball test.
But first, it's a look at your AccuWeather forecast. Looking to thaw out from the cold, you can take in a heartwarming classic tale this weekend.
Front Porch Musical Theater presents Annie Jr. at Brooklyn Center High School. And in today's Weekend Showcase, Renee Bonneau explains how you can join the cast in making a difference for some local kids in need.
They're the songs and scenes we grew up with. Front Porch Musical Theater's production of Annie Jr. is a little shorter than the Broadway version, but offers the same message and heart.
She's a dirty orphan
who lives in a really sad orphanage ruled by a really mean orphanage ruler, kind of, named Miss Hannigan. And she's always dreaming about just finding her parents.
Maybe meeting her mother and father in a couple of days.
Really?
The show's dazzling choreography and stellar singing are backed by the recordings of a professional pit orchestra. But the actors say what makes this show shine is the chemistry among the cast members.
I think the best part has got to be the fact that I get to work with such really great actors and actresses that get to act alongside me. It's a great time. We're like a family.
And as a family, they're looking out for other kids in the community who are less fortunate.
We don't have any orphanages here in the Twin Cities, but we do have so many homeless children, and we have so many in foster care, and we would like to just give back to the community by providing some warm winter clothing for them.
At every performance, they'll collect winter coats, hats, mittens, and scarves to be donated to local nonprofits, including Cross. With more than 80 students in the show, the theater company broke them up into 2 casts. They're putting on 2 shows a day through Sunday the 8th, and they hope their audience walks away with a valuable lesson about love.
We just make everything high moral standards for the family. That's what Front Porch Musical Theater is about.
For Weekend Showcase, I'm Renee Bonneau.
The Orphan Annie Clothing Drive will continue through December 15th. You can drop off winter clothes at the RE/MAX Results in Maple Grove. Well, coming up, librarians take a new approach to urging kids to read.
But first in sports, it's perfect timing for the annual ice fishing show. We catch up with fishing pro Terry Tuma when we come back.
John Jacobson with sports. Now, a pretty good test for a local girls basketball team. I mean, they're up against a pretty good team this time.
And a tough stretch of games for them. You know, Centennial last night, Kennedy on Saturday in the Breakdown Classic, then Osseo next week.
All good teams.
They'll get tested early. Park Center expects to have one of its best teams ever in girls basketball this winter. They started conference play on the Northwest Suburban Thursday night against the defending co-champions on the road at Centennial. Michaela Haynes hits the fadeaway in the lane early for Park Center. And then Kate Simonet with a three-pointers. The Pirates try to cut into an early Centennial lead. But it is mostly Cougars in the first half. J.C. Girding drives and hits the scoop shot. Her team leads 52-30 at halftime. Second half, Deja Morris hits a three from the wing for a 62-38 Cougars lead. Park Center does chip away as Kayla McMorris drops a nice turnaround jumper in here, but ultimately it's Centennial winning 83-66 is the final. Well, this week's weather lets us know that winter is here to stay. Anglers who are anxious to get out on the ice to fish would enjoy downtown St. Paul this weekend. That's where I caught up with Channel 12 pro angler Terry Tuma, who says there's a lot of excitement at the 21st annual St. Paul Ice Fishing and Winter Sports Show.
Well, you're exactly right. In fact, up at the show office, John, they mentioned what happened. How, aren't people working this afternoon? I think a lot of people are taking off just because the show is so big. It's considered the biggest show in the country as far as ice fishing, and they estimated well over 20,000 people.
We had a very cold stretch of weather here the last few days. Has that helped drive more people to the show?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. The only negative would possibly be if people would be out ice fishing, but now everybody sort of waits, well, are we going to have ice? When are we going to have ice? And now this is obviously where you have ice. Not right now, in fact, there's people ice fishing, and people are just going to take off and come to the show.
For people who haven't been down here before to the River Center, to the fishing show, what can they see on the exhibit floors?
This year, especially, they enhanced the show. There's a second floor. They did have it last year, but they're actually sold up. And you can see the fish houses, rod and reels, lures, clothing lines, electronics. You can go on. Anything that's possibly related to ice fishing will be at this show. You know, it's not just localized people that are coming to the show. Last year, we had people coming in from Manitoba, Montana, Indiana, so they're coming from all over to this specific show.
We got a decent amount of snow here in the Twin Cities, but nothing compared to what some of the northern part of the states got, which isn't necessarily great for the ice underneath, right?
Well, that's exactly right. You know, we're talking like in the Duluth area and so forth, even further north of Brainerd. And yes, what happens, but here again, it's going to vary a little bit with this cold temperatures. But what happens when you have a thin layer of ice, you know, like 2-3 inches, and you get that heavy wet snow on top, it becomes a blanket, an insulation blanket, and therefore then it starts to push the water up into the snow and becomes slush. And many times that does not freeze solid enough. But here again, too, they're talking record cold temperatures till December 20th. So hopefully that'll firm it up and they won't have a problem. And they do need to have good ice to pull those houses out.
The ice show runs through 9 p.m. tonight, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, and 10 to 5 on Sunday at the St. Paul River Center. Hopkins girls hockey team is rolling strong. The second-ranked Royals look to stay unbeaten Thursday as they hosted Centennial. And they start fast in this game. Corbin Boyd to Grace Bazal for the goal, and the Royals jump on the Cougars just 23 seconds into the game. Up 2-0. Hopkins gets one as Rachel St. Clair steals the puck, stick handles, and beats the goalie on the stick side for an unassisted goal. It's 3-0. Hopkins after one. The Royals have a top-notch goalie in Erin O'Neill. She makes the big save here, and the rebound doesn't go either. Great stops by her. An unselfish play by Nina Rogers as she slides the pass to the trailer Boyd for the goal. Hopkins is clicking. They go up 4-0. Rogers takes a perfect headman pass here and goes in alone, scoring on the backhand. A great goal all around, and the Royals lead at 5-0. On to the third period. Boyd gets on the board again with a backhander as Hopkins moves to 9-0 on the season with a 7-0 win. That is a very good hockey team.
Thanks a lot, John. Yeah. Still ahead, one way to find warmth in this cold weather.
We will show you how some brave the cold to display their holiday spirit. We'll be right back.
Encouraging more students to read at one Maple Grove Elementary School may be as simple as pointing them in the right direction.
Librarians did a major overhaul in the fiction section at the Basswood Elementary School Library, all to encourage more kids to pick up a book.
We ask the kids all the time, what do you like to read? And what do they tell us? Well, I like time travel. Well, that would be science fiction. Let me bring you to the world of time travel. Instead of, there's one over there, and there's one over there, and there's one over there.
Instead of organizing the fiction section by author, alphabetically by author, librarians group books by genres, just like books are organized in bookstores. It's a new trend for school libraries, and it seems to be working because librarians say it helps kids find books on topics that they want to read about. And other schools are looking into that system. That'll do it. That's it for now. But as we say goodbye, we leave you with a very colorful and chilly event in Maple Grove on Thursday night.
It is the 4th annual Light the Grove event at Maple Grove Hospital. Have a great weekend, everyone.